Let's begin episode 6. All the senior officers are praising Jae-kyung because GF's solution is finally hers now, and she's just one step away from becoming chairman. We see Jae-sung's men, who were very upset because Jae-sung didn't come to the company today. But then we see Jae-sung's wife, Yoon, arrive. She says her husband is ill and so can't come. She'll act as director in his place. She then recalls that she had earlier spoken with Jae-sung. He had told her that his sister has a weakness. She tried to kill their father. Yoon says, "Tell me clearly what happened." Jae-sung had told her everything. How they had gone to sedate the chairman and were about to give the injection, but he regained consciousness, and his sister took a pillow and tried to kill him. But none of it was his fault, he says. He had only held the pillow a little. In the next scene, we see the three of them arrive on vacation, but two of them get upset because Bong-gi had booked only one room. Jun-hyun hands over his card and says he wants to take the presidential suite. Bang-gul tells him not to use that card. It belongs to Smile Investment. Just then, they see that Bong-si is here with his people. Bang-gul says to Jun-hyun, "I don't think this can be a coincidence. You already knew he was here." In the next scene, the three of them are in their suite, where Jun-hyun explains what he's going to do and what he's doing here. Bong-si has been working on a project since last year and needs the rights to lithium, which is why he's about to sign a contract with the Prime Minister of Ulivia. But they'll steal this project. The two of you work together and come up with terms that will make the PM happy so that the project becomes ours. Bong-gi was talking to Jun-hyun very courteously. Bang-gul asks him, "You've been polite toward him for quite a while now." But he says it's nothing like that. Jun-hyun comes into the room. Bang-gul says to him, "You blackmailed our boss." But Jun-hyun denies it and says that he told him he's the chairman's secret son. But Bang-gul says, "That's a lie. Did he actually believe you?" He nods. He calls Sang-jae and asks for updates on the company. Sang-jae says, "You went there alone. I should have been at your side." But the chairman says, "Never mind, I'm fine." Sang-jae then tells him what's going on there. Jae-sung has been admitted to the hospital, but he thinks nothing's actually wrong with him, and in his place, his wife is working as director at Choi-sung. Jun-hyun asks, "Does Jae-kyung know about this?" Meanwhile, we see Jae-kyung, who comes into the cafeteria area. She talks with all the employees, but then she also spots Yoon. The two of them look at each other. In the next scene, they come into the office, where Jae-kyung tells Yoon directly, "I know what you've come here to do. Using my brother as support, you want to take over Choi-sung, but that will never happen." Jun-hyun also messages her and says he's learned that Jae-sung's wife has become director. Keep an eye on her. He thinks she wants to take over Choi-sung Trading. Jae-kyung says to herself, "That's exactly what I was thinking." She then tells Yoon directly, "I know you want to take over Choi-sung Trading. Tahiha is behind this, but that can never happen." Yoon steps outside and calls someone, asking, "Can we meet?" At night, we see Jun-hyun, who is doing his work but can't get much done because of Bong-gi. Just then, he notices someone watching him. He goes to the door, and it's Bang-gul. Jun-hyun asks her, "What are you doing here at night?" Bang-gul says, "That's exactly what I was asking. Why are you outside my room? You told me we'd have to find the terms. I was working on that, but I'm hungry." She then takes out some food. Jun-hyun realizes that there's kimchi in it, the kimchi his wife Son-hee had made. He requests, "May I have a bite?" Bang-gul gives him some. Jun-hyun says he wants more. She gives it to him, but says she wants money in return. We see Son-hee, whom the two children were talking to and thanking for the food. Son-hee asks, "Why have you become so nice lately? Did Bang-gul beat you up?" But they deny it and explain that a man of a certain build had come by, and he told them to behave like this because the chairman's soul is watching them. Now Son-hee recalls that Jun-hyun had come by that day. But why is he doing all this? Just then, Jae-kyung also arrives. Son-hee asks her about the chairman's condition. Jae-kyung says, "Not to worry, he's perfectly fine." Son-hee says, "Can I go to see him tomorrow?" Jae-kyung agrees. She then goes inside and talks with her husband. She tells him that Son-hee is going to come there tomorrow. Tell her the chairman is perfectly fine. They'll do whatever they can and try their best. Sang-dae says to her, "That day you told me I'd have to give the chairman an injection so he wouldn't regain consciousness. But that day, you and your brother did something. What happened?" Because after that very day, he slipped into a coma. Jae-kyung says she didn't do anything. But then we see that someone was listening to their conversation. Sang-dae comes out to look, but there's no one here. A little later, though, we see that it was Yoon who had overheard everything they said. On the other side, we see Yoon, who comes to the hospital and talks with Jae-sung. Jae-sung asks how the company is doing without him. He hasn't even gotten a single call. Yoon says everything's fine. Don't worry. In the morning, Bong-gi comes out. He sees that the two of them are asleep and that they'd eaten instant noodles here. He shouts, "What is all this? You ate noodles without me." Jun-hyun says, "Let it go. Come on, let's get to work." In the next scene, they were looking at the mine from which Bong-si is going to get lithium. Bong-gi disguises the two of them as newlyweds, dressing them in matching outfits. They then come to the mine and start doing a photo shoot. Bong-si's secretary tells them to leave, but Bong-gi doesn't and keeps photographing the two of them. But it's not really a photo shoot of them. They take photos of whatever documents the people working there have. Bong-si calls his secretary. He then leaves, but our heroes follow him. Everyone had come to the hotel, where he's now with the PM discussing his contract. In the next scene, some people come into the company who had gotten the contract prepared. The newlyweds are right nearby, watching them, and they get into the elevator with them. They find out which room is theirs. A waiter was carrying alcohol to them, but Jun-hyun stops him and starts chatting with him. Meanwhile, Bang-gul swaps out the alcohol. On the other side, we see Sang-dae, who is watching the chairman. He's about to give the sedative injection, but then we see Sun-hee arrive and stop him from doing it. She yells at him, saying, "What is all this? You were about to sedate him!" But Sang-dae says it's nothing like that. If he doesn't do it, there's no telling what will happen to the chairman. There's no telling what his wife might do to him. Sun-hee shouts, "Tell me what happened to him!" He tells her everything. We then see Sun-hee call Jae-kyung and say that she's heard a board meeting is coming up soon. She'd like to join it too, because she's her mother. Jae-kyung says, "Fine, but you speak on my side. Say that the chairman told you he wants to make Jae-kyung chairman." Jae-kyung is then looking at a chart, where she puts her own photo on the chairman's chair. She removes Sang-jae from the team leader spot and brings in Jun-hyun in his place. That is, she puts up his photo. On the other side, we see Yoon, who was talking with a man she'd spoken to earlier on the phone, and she asks him, "What happened with the port project? How did it suddenly slip away?" He tells her that it was all done by Jae-kyung's secretary. The project had all but become Jae-sung's, but how could such a thing happen just on a secretary's say-so? He then tells her the secretary's name. His name is Jun. Yoon realizes that this is the very intern who recently joined Choi Sung. In the next scene, Yoon's secretary tells her that she looked into Jun-hyun. He's gone away on vacation, and Bang-gul is with him. Yoon recalls a scene in which Jae-sung had earlier told her that his sister had gone away from home. She had told him, "I'm going on a vacation. I can't stay here anymore." Now Yoon had figured out that the two of them are working together. On the other side, we see the three of them get into the room, where everyone has passed out from drinking the alcohol, and they start searching for something so they can find out about the project. In the next scene, they come into their own room and start digging into the project. Jun-hyun discovers that Bong-si wants to scam the PM. He wants to take the lithium. The PM thinks the amount of lithium is exactly what Bong-si claimed, but the documents prove that it's actually double that. Jun-hyun asks, "Where's the PM right now? We need to talk to him." Bong-gi tells him that the PM is at a party with Bong-si, and the contract is about to be signed. Bang-gul then shows where this party is going to be held. They'll have to go there. In the next scene, we see everyone change their outfits, and Jun-hyun keeps looking at Bang-gul because she looked very pretty. They then come to the party. They were bringing the contract to the PM, but Bong-gi spills wine on it. He then starts to clean it up, but Jun-hyun says, "There's no need. It won't be of any use anyway." He places his own document in front of the PM and shows him how Bong-si is deceiving him. Bong-si's secretary says these are the same people who came to the mine earlier. Bong-si tells the PM they're all strangers, don't trust them. But the PM had understood what Bong-si was really after, and he has Bong-si's side thrown out. The three of them are going to make a deal with the PM. At first, though, the PM doesn't trust them either, but after much persuasion, he tells them, "All right, let's work together." The contract is signed. We see Jae-kyung, who is with her people, drinking together. She then comes home where Yoon is in front of her, talking with her. She says, "I've found out what you did to your father. You tried to kill him with a pillow. My husband told me everything." She blackmails Jae-kyung, saying, "Give the port project back to us. If you don't, I'll expose this." Jae-kyung says, "So what? It's not only my fault. Jae-sung helped me." Yoon tells her, Yes, I know, but he has nothing to lose. Look at yourself, though. You have everything to lose. We see Bong Si, who is reviewing the cameras and sees how they had swapped the alcohol and taken the documents. He says to himself, I've seen this man somewhere before. He then comes to their room, but they had already left. Here, though, he sees a folder with only a single candy inside it. On the other side, we see the three of them on a flight, where the chairman looks at his daughter and takes care of her. They then arrive at the airport, but just then, Sun-hee calls them and begins crying. Bang-gul rushes home. Jun-hyun had come along too. She asks her mother, what happened? Sun-hee tells her that Jae-kyung tried to kill her father. In the next scene, the board meeting is about to take place. Here, Jae-sung watches his sister Jae-kyung, who is going inside looking very confident. Jae-sung says to Yoon, what's going on? Will she really side with us? Yoon says, don't worry, I've already talked to her. Sun-hee also arrives here. Jae-sung starts talking to her. Sun-hee says, can't you show some respect? I'm your mother. Now everyone is inside the board meeting, where Jae-kyung lays out the deals she has recently pulled off and the projects that have succeeded for her, arguing that she's therefore fit to become chairman. Who will support her in this? We see that Yoon is the first to raise her hand. Sang-jae says, everyone put your hands down, but Yoon doesn't. Jae-kyung tells Sun-hee, you come forward too and speak about all this. Sun-hee does so, but she says directly that she's against everything Jae-kyung has said. She says they've spoken with a coma care specialist who says that their father will soon regain consciousness. This makes Jae-kyung nervous. Sang-jae then says that he knows GF's solution was recently a success, but he's learned that outside money had gone into it, meaning there's someone who wants to take over their Choi-sung group. To investigate this, he has formed a strategic planning team. Jae-sung says, fine, he agrees to this. But Jae-kyung says this can't be done. They don't even know who's on the planning team or what they'll do. But then we see Bong-gi enter first, followed by Jun-hyun, and then Bang-gul, at the sight of whom the two siblings are stunned. Bang-gul even declares that she's the chairman's youngest daughter, which leaves the siblings utterly shocked, and the episode comes to an end.